We're running out of time. That's what I think when I look around Alaska right now. A month ago, we started building an addition on our cabin with hopes to get it done before winter. Well, now fall is in full swing. I see it everywhere. The colors of the leaves, the behavior of the animals around us, and the temperature every morning. It's dropping. Winter is coming, and it's coming fast. We've got to get the addition done on our cabin, and the weather is not cooperating. So it's time to start building walls and putting up rafters because we have to get this addition enclosed before winter.
Oh, nice.
And fall happens fast here in Alaska. With winter quickly on the way, our number one priority right now is to get this addition enclosed. If we're going to beat winter, this week we have to get our walls and our roof framed. Once this is done, we can get our actual roof put up and some sheathing. Then this whole addition will be protected from the elements, which there are a lot of lately. Fall is notorious for being wet in Alaska, and this fall is living up to its reputation. We've been storing some things under here to keep them dry, which is nice, but it's super annoying when you need like a big saw and you gotta go get it from under the cabin. Now, being a homesteader for 15 years, I have built a lot of structures, but I've actually never framed for a living space. So I figured I'd get a little bit of help. And you'll never guess from who. Because he asked that I blur his face. When people hear that you're moving off-grid to Alaska, they a lot of times assume that you're going to be leading a very antisocial life. Secluded, alone. That might be the case for some people, but honestly, in my experience, I have never been in a place with a stronger sense of community than Alaska.
Exactly.
You might want to be alone in the wilderness, but it seems like everybody is offering to help you out with your firewood, with your building project, with the things you need to be ready for winter. And if you like making new friends, like me, well, when they offer to help you build your walls in your cabin, a good idea is to just say yes, because for one, you'll get it done quicker, and two, you'll make a new friend. To no surprise, the rain clouds moved in, but we kept working through the rain. And with a little bit of professional help from our new friend, we were able to get the walls framed up in just a day. I was feeling great because we were ahead of schedule. I didn't realize that I had made a big mistake, and that would set us back. Okay.
Don't slide it, bud, over up there.
The rain is here, and the timing is really bad because our floor is just getting endlessly rained on. But my neighbor reminded me yesterday, like, no cabin has ever been built without getting rained on, so it's not a big deal. It feels like it, I hate it, but we can dry it out later, so. The walls were up and the storm clouds were passing. We had blue sky. It felt like one of those days we'd be able to make a lot of progress. We started working on framing the roof. Now, putting up the roof to the addition was going to be a little tricky because we needed to meet up with the existing roof of our cabin. To do this, we were going to have to put sisters on the existing rafters. From those sisters, we would hang a ledger board, and then we could hang rafters off of the ledger board. We started laying out the roof, the ledger board, the rafters, the spacing, and that's when my heart sank. I realized I had made a big mistake. Everybody knows in Alaska we get a lot of snow. That means you can have heavy snow loads on your roof. You want to make sure when you design your roof, you have the proper pitch to shed snow. Well, when I designed our addition, I hadn't thought about the height of the existing roof. I didn't make sure that with an 8-foot high wall that attaching onto the existing roof, we would actually have the proper pitch we needed. And it turns out that we didn't. This roof would be under minimum required pitch for a metal roof to properly shed snow. That meant we were going to have to cut our walls down. I actually turned the camera off and, well, let's just say I had the wind knocked out of my sails. We had made so much progress, framed the walls so quickly, and now we had to go backwards and cut a big chunk out of every one of them. When the race is on, when you're trying to beat winter and you're fighting with weather and rainstorms, a setback like this just knocks you in the gut, especially when it's one that's your fault that could have been avoided with a little bit better planning. I was really, really frustrated by this. But at some point, you just got to pick up your hammer and saw and get working again. And that's what we did. I'm new at this. I'm bound to make mistakes. That's part of the process. Mistakes are what ultimately turns beginners into intermediates and intermediates into experts. Someday I'll be really good at this. But until that day, at least it'll make a good story. The mood on the site was pretty cranky. Nobody was happy to be redoing work that had already been done once, but Alaska managed to cheer us all up. When we're working outside, our cats like to join us. They'll explore around the cabin, climb on the addition, and then when we go inside later in the day, they follow us inside. Well, as Mittens was wandering around the cabin, a mama moose and her baby happened upon him.
Mittens! Those are two moose. The baby's really protected. Yeah, the mama. Oh no, they didn't call Mittens.
They might not have known what this strange fluffy cat was, but they didn't like him.
Maybe. You could just go grab out the gun. Yeah, because then the moose could just go all around us. Mittens!
I just saw the mama moose, but he didn't see his head.
He didn't much like him either, and at the first chance he got, he blitzed back to the safety of the cabin.
Minnie, I'm not his boyfriend.
Stop! I'm trying to film him.
He's like, now I can handle this guy.
He's like, dogs or moose?
Look at him.
And the Mitty safely returns home.
Watching the adventures of Mittens the Brave couldn't help but a smile on our face. We finished cutting down the walls and putting up the new top plate. But we weren't able to get any rafters up and any kind of rain protection. So we were not able to protect this from the rain. We have been getting poured on like crazy. He's like, yeah, we just went along. And the plastic hasn't been working because I put holes in it. Oh man. We have a little window this weekend, today and tomorrow, and maybe Sunday. There's no rain. So the blitz is on. We are going to put the rafters up, and if the rafters are up, we can stretch a tarp over this and actually keep it dry, hopefully. So starting today, we're gonna be finishing the top plate, and up we go with everything we need to get rafters up, and hopefully by the end of this weekend, we have some sort of roof structure on this, whether it's just a tarp or more, but that's better than nothing. So we're gonna get right to work. I think a good marriage, it works like a seesaw. When you're at your lowest, when you're feeling bad, frustrated, down, this other person comes along, jumps on the seesaw with you, and boom, sends you sky high. Makes everything feel better, gets you going on the right track again. I had been feeling really low, really frustrated with the last couple days. Bad weather and mistakes and everything just had me feeling down. But today, Kay came outside and helped me get ready to hang the first rafters. Just working with her and my pups, everything felt a little bit better, a little bit lighter. We buttoned up all the work we needed to get our ledger board up, and finally started making some real forward progress towards getting this addition framed in before winter. Look, see that? Blue sky. We haven't had blue sky here in like a week solid. My deck is actually not a swimming pool today. It is mostly dried out from that awful rain and swimming pool conditions that it was in. And that means today is the day we have been looking forward to for a long time. Today is Rafter Day. Yesterday, we got this whole thing locked in, solid, square, and we also put up all the sisters for our ledger board to attach to. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and we're gonna put our ledger board up at the very top. We're gonna be meeting up with the original roof. We're gonna lag into the existing 4x4s that are up there. Get that thing good and solid connected, and then we're gonna hang all our rafters off of it, and they're gonna come down and rest on top of our outer wall here. So we're gonna take advantage of this nice weather. It's not gonna rain tomorrow or the next day either, so we're really got a great window to get this roof up. It's not going to be the whole roof. We don't have our sheathing yet or anything, but it's going to at least be the rafters that we need up there, and then we can stretch a tarp over that with some support, and that should keep the rain off really good while we then work on everything else that we have to work on for this project. So let's dive in. Let's get working. I don't have scaffolding or anything to get that up easy. I just have one ladder. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it up on stilts. I have legs coming down that holds it pretty much right in place. And I'll have people holding the legs, and then I can work on one end and attach it while it's safely secured to the ground and nobody's straining. So, let's just see how tall my legs have to be. Foot 10 foot 11 inches.
A little more gumption. There it is.
Alright, get that piece of wood, bud. And see, we are at 9. Flush at the back there, bud. Okay, I'm right here. The exact ends. Tries to hold. Easy to pry up. It's when it's vertical that it's going to be very. Now you gotta use 2 hands.
Yeah. Whoa. Yep.
Okay.
This thing is ugly.
Okay, so that's pretty good.
I can't see if it's perfect. What I do right now. Oh yeah, well.
It looks pretty good. Are we for level? Oh man, perfect for level. Okay, I think we're gonna do that.
The bobber.
You like the little...
Yeah, I could
There will always be a
Maybe I could probably get it. Does that look good?
You gotta move with one hand.
I'll do it from the other side. Ledger board. You could start working on cutting the next ledger board and getting the stilts on while I lock this thing in. Can't be any more level than that. Goodness. Okay. It is gorgeous today. We are having this like magical day out here, and for 2 reasons. First off, you have the sandhill cranes, which are beginning to fly south, and so they fly by and they make this really cool sound that the cranes make. If you listen right now, you can hear it.
It's like they never end.
Look at this group.
That looked as more cool.
So they're flying by and making this cool little sound. And at the same time, the fireweed has released its seeds, which is neat because we've seen the fireweed getting ready to release its seeds. Like all the seeds were getting more and more prominent and they're like opening up. And today it's sunny. Here, right there. There's a fireweed seed. They're flying by and it's just like ethereal. It's really exciting to think like, go little guy, go plant a beautiful little fireweed plant for next year. Oh, I think I just swallowed one there. Our ledger board is up, and that means we're ready to start putting joist hangers on it and then put some rafters off of it, cut the bird's mouth in our rafters. Because we're building to the existing cabin and there's some fluctuations in the cabin itself, I'll probably have to measure each rafter individually instead of cutting them all at once, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe we'll be fortunate. We'll all be the same.
Fall is in full swing right now. I'm from New England, so I'm a bit of a fall snob. People drive thousands of miles and fly into New England to see the leaves change. It's a beautiful place in the fall. Alaska, fall is a little bit different. You don't have the same colors, but it definitely has its own striking beauty during this time of year. A lot of bright yellow and dark green. The fireweed's all dying. You get this little pink fuzz at the edge of all the forests. The sun's a little lower in the sky, so you get this like beautiful glow on everything. When you mix that with a moose sighting, it's all pretty incredible. Fall also goes very quick. I've heard a few Alaskans refer to it as fell because of how quickly it happens. So while we're trying to take little moments to enjoy this beautiful time of year, we're working a lot because we know winter is just around the corner and we want our addition to be enclosed and ready when the snow starts to fall.
Okay, it's Sunday, and today I don't feel like working. We've been going, and I just feel like taking a day off, but it's getting cold. Last night we were driving home, and I was looking at the thermometer, and it was in the 30s. And I was like, I have got to get this roof up. So, no rest for the weary. It'll come. There'll be a time this winter when I'm inside by the fire and I'm drinking my second coffee of the morning and I'm just taking it easy. But today is not that day. Today, we're gonna get rafters up, and we're actually gonna get our first rafter up today. And after the first one's up, we're gonna go and try to get as many up as possible so we can get a tarp on this thing, because we still have blue skies today and tomorrow, and then the rain's back, and this has got to stay dry. From here on forward, I want this to be dry. So let's get this first rafter up. Cue the getting ready montage. Let's kick some butt.
It was time to make our rafters. Because we're building on an existing structure, not building something from scratch, we wanted to make sure that our rafter actually fit the existing structure. So we kind of fit it to place, marked it, and started cutting. Our first rafter, it was like the first pancake. Pretty messy. Things did not go so well. We actually had to redo the cuts a few times. Yeah, it was a mess. Finally, we had the first rafter done. If this was new construction, this would be our template. We could copy this rafter and paste it onto all the other rafters.
We just got our first rafter up. That wasn't even that bad.
At least that's the way that it works on new construction. When you're working on an existing structure, like a cabin that's been in Alaska for years, worn by the elements, twisted by the wind, and rocked by earthquakes, well, you don't necessarily get to use a template for all your rafters. Instead, you have to almost design every one. So how'd that turn out for us? Well, the rest of the rafters turned out kind of like the rest of the pancakes. Some of them were perfect, others turned out awful, and you don't know why.
Okay, we got a work day today. We're gonna another big day, keep working on our rafters. But as you can see, rain has arrived. It is cold and rainy here in Alaska. So I gotta make sure when we're done working, the house we go back into is warm and cozy. We can dry off. We've been cutting a bunch of firewood, but I haven't been making a lot of kindling. So today I gotta make a little bit of kindling, then we'll get our fire started, get a nice bed of coals going, get the fire up, then I can back it off and leave it go all day while we work. So let's make some kindling here. Okay, that is a pretty good pile of kindling. Should have a good, easy start to our fire today. Let's go start a fire, and then we'll get to work. I've been learning a lot about heating with wood. I've had wood stoves and done fires in the past a lot, but it's never been my primary source of heat. Supposed to load it from the top, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay, now crumple them up, make a nice bed of crumple. And now what you do with the kindling is you make like a tic-tac-toe. So find all the short kindling. Okay. Okay. And back up. Okay. Okay, moment of truth. We used our template to do this rafter. We could have done a template first, but we're kind of perfecting our system and how to get the right cut and everything and how to get the right angle, and like it took a little while for us to really get dialed in. So 5 rafters we did before we had a really good one, but now we have a good one. We're gonna use that as the template. Now we are building off of the existing cabin, which has some fluctuation. So this template might work for a while, and then there might be a bow in the cabin and it might not work. So we're gonna use it as long as we can. Hopefully we can do like, most of this with the template and then have a couple customs. That's what I'm hoping for, but I have no idea. We'll see how far we can get with templates. Dead. Oh yeah. Dance till we're dead. Oh yeah. Heads will roll. I just put a rafter up on my own. That's a first. Ooh, that doesn't look so bad. Okay. So, Bubby, you're gonna help lift here. I know. Better. Trust me, it's better. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, so. Okay, no, don't get too close. Or two. The last one. Okay. That might be enough. Okay, just a boo. There it is. Ooh, that wind is. Boy, what conditions. Makes you feel alive. There's two. All right, Bubby, push it my way. A little more. All right, how's that? That's great. That's the best thing we've done. Bud, grab me a joist hanger while you're at it too. Do that first, and then you can do it. So give me the drill. And here, Mommy, you hold the joist hanger. Alright, you do that tight and flush and pinch it. The joist hanger is just a little added. For another one?
Yes.
Yeah, it should. We should use the template.
Yes.
Because I don't think the template, unless we use. All right, well, we worked through the rain and we got a lot done on this. We don't have more, I gotta go to town and get more rafters. But we have enough up there, I think, that'll support our really big tarp and dry this whole thing off. We've been working really hard to get to this point. At this point, we're gonna stretch the tarp over it and just pray we got enough rafters up there to keep it tight, that the tarp doesn't rip, because this tarp was a $300 tarp. I really don't want this tarp to rip. It'll be worth it if it doesn't rip and it works. So let's put it on.
For thousands of years, since that very first family crossed that land bridge from what's now Russia, people have been battling the elements while trying to stake out a home for themselves in this place that we now call Alaska. While some used animal hides, others lumber, today we were trying to fight the elements with this giant, overly priced tarp. And it may not seem like a big deal, but after watching this structure that we're building, that we're going to be living in, get rained on and soaked and wet time after time after time, this was a big moment. Finally, we had some sort of roof on our structure to keep our new little home dry from the Alaska weather. I can say now from experience, there's some ancient little spark inside us that gets lit when the place that you call home is now protected from the rain. Whew. All right. After hours of toil with this tarp, I think we got it. I don't see any drips. There's no water coming in, no rain. It's raining outside, you can hear it. I can see the water going down. And I think we have enough rafters up to support the tarp. Not getting any big trapped bubbles. So we have invested lots of time and money into trying to tarp and dry off this workspace so that our floor can be a good floor and not like a waterlogged ruined floor. Let's hope we finally got it. I think we did. It's been an incredibly long project, and just getting this covered and dried. We still have more rafters to do, but we're gonna call it for now and we'll continue later. Welcome to the aquarium we're building. This Doesn't it have like one of those aquarium feels? Like there's gonna be a shark that swims overhead here. The tarp stayed on despite the wind's best efforts, and it kept this mostly dry. So today we're going, no, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. We're not going to finish the rafters today. How's that? That's what I'll say. It's not opposite day. All right, that was, I think, the hardest, most intense building project I've ever done, putting those rafters up. We're not done with the roof yet. We're not done with this, but that was crazy hard and intense. But the rafters are up, which means now time to sheath and put up our roof. Huge progress today. Finally, we did it. We put up all the rafters.
We won this battle. We got our structure framed, despite the unrelenting wind and rain. But you've heard the saying before, this is just one battle in the war, which for us is to get this structure built and enclosed before the first snowfall. And everywhere we look, there are signs that it's getting closer and closer. The cabin still needs to be skirted, a roof put on the addition, the walls sheathed. There's so much we have to get done before that first snowflake. And every day it's getting darker and colder. So while we were happy that we had completed this job, the celebration is always short because winter is coming.